Welcome to a galaxy far, far away. Here at the Cantina podcast, we provide top shelf service, including rumors, leaks, news, and reviews. Come in, order a Loman Ale, and remember, no droids allowed. Okay, well, obviously that wasn't the great Emperor Palpatine intro that I was hoping for, but that's all right. The Emperor will be back next week. Guys, we have an awesome sponsor, Grow Generation. They are the one of the top sources to go to get all your hydroponic supplies, fertilizers, lights, all sorts of great technology. Check them out. It's where the pros go to grow, growgeneration.com. And yeah, welcome to the Cantina. You can tell it's a bit of an off day. There's there's video, and there's no Scottish guy.
Yeah, the Scottish guy is MIA today.
Yeah, Cam is taking a well-deserved little staycation at home tonight, and I've got Shockey here. What's up, bud?
Not too much. It's a good Star Wars week. We had May the 4th. We had Revenge of the 5th. We had Star Wars on TNT for those who aren't subscribed to Disney Plus for 2 straight days. I think there's another marathon going on Disney XD right now with Star Wars Rebels and the Clone Wars animated series. We had the Bad Batch. We had a lot of Star Wars stuff going on this week. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. Now personally, I'm not the world's biggest fan of the Clone Wars. So the animation stuff I'm not as much into, but you definitely are.
Yeah.
How you liking Bad Batch so far, Mike?
So I really like it because I don't know about you, but I've always the transition from clones to stormtroopers has always kind of like been one of those mysterious questions that never been answered, and it's always
not
kind
for
of
EU readers, but
right. So for the EU readers, I get it.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
But that doesn't count anymore. So
right, exactly. It doesn't count anymore, and it was kind of one of those things like. Before Disney bought it, was like, okay, we'll take it, but is that really what George Lucas, had in mind, for that storyline? And so this is kind of the story of the Bad Batch is seeing that transition. You see Tarkin is going to be basically the main focus of the Empire, and making that transition, and why the Empire chose to go away from the clones, and how and it also kind of explains too why stormtroopers are horrible shots and not as good as the clone troopers and stuff, because the Camino or was it Kaminoans, the Kaminoans kind of explain that recruiting people to become stormtroopers and stuff is not as effective as the having the clone troopers they had, which are the offspring of Jango Fett, which is one of the best bounty hunters in Star Wars history. So it's really interesting. I like it. So
is it no, I don't want to get into too many spoilers. I do plan on, Christine and I plan on checking it out. It's I'm gonna break fourth wall. We're actually recording on Thursday evening, which means it's a Dr. Stone Thursday. Thank God, because Funimation and their damn dubs schedules can be off, man. They'll announce that it's like hitting the day of, and I'm like super stoked. But anyways, we do plan on checking out the Bad Batch this weekend. My biggest issue with it, Cam, it's twofold. Or Cam, sorry, Mike.
No worries.
It's kind of twofold. One, I was 14 when Phantom Menace came out.
Right.
It took me like 2 or 3 views to really understand what I saw was mostly bad. But, I stuck through. I watched episodes 2 and 3 and, 7, 8, 9 and all of that. But because I didn't care for the prequel trilogy, and I had kids older, when the 3D CGI Clone Wars came out, especially, the movie being the first taste that I had seen or gotten,
which was not great. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. So it's just one of those things to where the aesthetics of the animation, and then the time period, the story, I could never care. So is this could this be the show to change my mind? Will this maybe make someone like me at least like this? Maybe not necessarily go back, but
yeah, I think so. I understand where you're coming from, because I too, grew up. So I was born, the year of Return of the Jedi. So I really didn't experience the original trilogy like in theaters. And
yeah,
when I was old enough to really, know it was VHS, and it was, late 80s, early 90s. So the kind of the prequels were kind of that was the trilogy for me to go see in the movie theaters. And I was like you, like so I liked Phantom Menace when I first saw it, but then when I, after, a couple other takes, it's like, okay. I mean, there was bits and pieces I liked about it.
absolutely.
Attack of the Clones, same thing, bits and pieces. And then Revenge of the Sith, to me, that was the best of the three. But it wasn't like hands down better than the original trilogy. It's still, to me. So, but what I appreciated about the Clone Wars animated series was that it filled in a lot of the holes that left me when I saw the films. I'm like, why is,
like the whole Obi-Wan Anakin relationship?
Yeah, very. Yeah, like, there was like from the films, you don't get that brotherly bond. You watch the animated series, you get that. When it came to the films and having Anakin turn just because he was losing Padme, didn't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
But then when you watch the animated series and you see that he lost his Padawan, and then he kind of, the way that the Clone Wars plays out is that it was, Darth Sidious playing chess and basically organizing it so that the Jedi could not win either way, whether if they got involved in the Clone Wars or not. Because if the Separatists won, then the Darth Sidious was in charge of the Separatists. He would have taken over that way. If the clones win, and he basically we had Order 66 in his back pocket, so he knew that he was going to. So it kind of, it shows you that whole part in Revenge of the Sith where Anakin kind of loses his trust in the Jedi Council, because we see it with other Jedi throughout the animated series. So I appreciate where you're going to really like Bad Batch a lot, is that it doesn't tie really. You'll get that little bit of at the beginning of the first episode, you'll get like, okay, for those of you who've never seen the Clone Wars, here's where it's taking place. And you'll kind of see it's right at the time when Order 66 is about to happen, but then it just takes off on its own. And so you're not going to see, I don't think, any type of, you're not going to see Anakin, you're not going to see the Obi-Wan, you're not the Clone Wars stuff. It's really focusing on this individual groups of clone troopers who are unique. They're not the standard,
they're mutated
clones.
or they got
They each have heightened abilities that they've been programmed to, so that one has exceptional is an exceptional sharpshooter, one has exceptional strength, one has an exceptional brain, the other one heightened senses, and so you don't need to watch the Clone Wars animated series to get into this one. It kind of, I think at first you're going to be like, it's a little bit too much Clone Warsies, but I think what's going to happen, there's 16 episodes in this season. You're going to see it more towards the Empire and that transition of the Empire really growing to what it really is.
Interesting. Yeah. I say that the time between episodes 3 and 4, I don't want to spend time in. Cam brought up something last week or the week before. He's like, we as in like modern live action and cartoons and stuff, we haven't had a lot of time spent there.
No,
there's been Rogue One's solo comics, some of the novels and stuff, and of course Rebels, and then now this will kind of be somewhat in PT and then somewhat in between PTOT, right? Because Order 66 happens in the first episode,
right? So you're gonna, so what, like, if you think about it, Rogue One takes, it's right before episode 4. So I mean that whole storyline sets in. Star Wars Rebels is the Empire is already solidified, and so it's closer to A New Hope. Um, this is going to take place right after Revenge of the Sith. So this is more in line with, being closer to episode 3, and that kind of, there's a gap period we don't have a lot of answers to in that realm. So I think this is where Bad Batch is basically, it's going to be that transition to we see to Star Wars Rebels / Rogue One.
Okay. Interesting. Well, it's kind of cool. Some people can see this little Reddit thing that I've got open. I can't bring that up on screen, but we're talking about this time period, and we're talking about the Bad Batch, and Rogue One keeps coming up, and that brings up Andor. If you guys go over to lrmonline.com, you can check out a wonderful piece written by Cam Clark, and that will lead you to some pictures. I'm gonna go ahead and stop screen sharing because we're not gonna risk making Disney mad. But you guys can definitely go find it yourself. Kim has a theory about Andor. He thinks we're gonna see, because they've teased Andor might be multiple seasons.
Yep.
And he thinks Andor season 1 is going to show us how or why he joins the rebels, like why he rebels. And in these pictures, they're at a beach location. You kind of get the feeling Scarif, but not. I mean, there's some similar troopers that we saw on Scarif. Yep. But it could totally be something different. And we mentioned Mon Cal because I've been dying to see that place in live action. Right. And I mentioned how we're supposed to. We've touched on Wookiee slavery. Did the cartoons touch? Because in the EU there was also Mon Cal slaves.
Star Wars Rebels goes into like the Wookiee slavery. There's an episode or 2.
But do you know if canon were Mon Cal enslaved by chance?
I cannot remember that.
Or any of them. Like there was an engineer that was enslaved once, and some brainwashed Mon Cal. But anyways, I kind of like that idea. The idea of what causes him to go off and rebel, but I only like it in one of two scenarios. One is where he's almost a replacement for Wedge Antilles' EU character, which, for those of you that don't know, Wedge's parents in the EU owned basically a gas station in space, and it was attacked, blown up. And he goes through the academy to get all the training, and then, turncoats and joins the rebels. And I can kind of see Andor doing something like that, but I could also see them fixing where they went wrong with the Solo movie, and that's show us this dedicated Imperial who sees the wrong thing, the truth of the Empire, and that's what sets him off. Do you think either one of those are likely for this first season, or do you think we're going to already see Rebels spy Andor?
It's an interesting thing you say about Wedge, because they did, in Dave Filoni has, kind of oversight of Andor in the storyline to make sure it's in continuity. They already did the Wedge defecting from the Imperial Academy in Star Wars Rebels. So he gets kind of brought into the rebellion that way, not the EU way that you have it.
Right.
He was already he's in the academy, and they kind of convert him over as and he kind of does a little spy thing. I think your second synopsis of it, kind of doing more of the what Solo kind of missed out on, and having
1 second, Mike. My son's knocking at the door.
Oh no, go for it.
My second thing was, you were saying?
So kind of like what Solo missed out on, and really too, if you think about it, the character arc of Finn early on in The Force Awakens, defecting from either the Empire or the First Order. And we've kind of gotten little bits of it from the Mandalorian, with Gina Carano's character, Bill Burr's character. Like you saw the aftermath of them, defecting from the Empire. So that would be really interesting, is seeing someone actually fighting in the Empire, and little by little, seeing the atrocities of what goes on, and then defecting over into the rebellion. Because Star Wars Rebels, the animated show, really covers the whole beginnings of the Rebel Alliance. So it would be interesting to see where on that timeline does Andor come in on.
Yeah, I don't. It's interesting. You said something that I really wasn't too much aware of, and that's I was under the impression Andor wasn't in Filoni and Favreau's wheelhouse, but Filoni's keeping tabs on it.
Yeah, so it's more or less just continuity. Filoni doesn't have like I don't think he's gonna have any like executive producer rights. Nothing like that. But he is the consultant, to making sure that there's not a big plot hole. Like, oh my God, the Death Star 2 cannot be an Andor because this is the Death Star 1 type deal. So, it's just one of those things that, like, to make sure everything is lining up correctly to fix the mistakes of what happened in the sequel trilogy, is that there's smoothness, and because that's something I admire about Filoni, is that he kind of can take these things in, for a sense, George, gave him all the information on how the storyline. So that's how I was able to do the animated series, the Clone Wars, but then also Rebels. He kind of had his own take on it. Now he's doing with the Bad Batch, and it kind of connects the dots really well. It's what I think he does a great job of doing. So I think he's pretty much helping out with that.
Do you think Andor will cross over with any of Filoni's cartoon creations in the live action? Not necessarily Ahsoka, but other things from Rebels or Clone Wars, Bad Batch.
Well, it would have to. From the animated series, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of rumblings of either like a Harrison Dula or something. Like, I don't know. Like, that would be interesting to see. I don't know if I really want to see that connectivity in the first season. Maybe later. It'd be cool if Krennic was in it, director Krennic, and seeing the kind of the beginnings of that.
Anytime you want to put that Australian dude on screen, I'm down with
hell
it.
Yeah. One of the. It was one of the.
Name?
I can't think of.
God, I'm gonna hate myself. But
anyways, I loved him in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And so like even just little bits here and there, director Krennic would be amazing. Was it Jyn Erso's father, Galen Erso? That'd be another cool connected dots.
Mads Wilkinson, and it was Ben Mendelsohn. There it is.
Ben Mendelsohn, yeah.
There it is. Yeah, that guy's great.
Right.
With it, I really like the idea of a die-hard Imperial that like believes in it. Like, he sees that order. Maybe he came from a planet where shit was constantly hitting the fan, and when the Empire comes in, he's like, yeah, order comes at a price, and then he eventually finds out that price is too high. I like that idea. Yeah, sure, it's cliched and stuff like that, but we haven't seen it done in Star Wars in live action. We've read about it, but we haven't seen it. And I'll be honest, Diego Luna really impressed me in Rogue One. And the idea of just this guy that is, oh fuck, the Imperials are coming, I'm gonna kill my contact because fuck it, he's a liability now, and this alliance is more important than any one person. And
he gives off a very James Bond vibe. In the very beginnings of Rogue One, like, get the intel that's needed at whatever cost, you know.
Mm-hmm. And it's not until he and I'm hoping they will expand on this in probably season two or something. There's something about the relationship between Jen and her dad, I think, is what makes Andor not shoot.
Yeah.
And so that makes me think he lost a kid.
Or parents, yeah.
Or the parents, like the
Yeah.
wedge situation. So I think even losing a parent to, you know, local bandits, local terrorists, or something like that when he's young leads him to go the Imperial route. There's a lot of ways to cut it.
It's a good point you make on there, because if you think about in the movie Rogue One, when they go to try to get Galen Erso on the Imperial base, you know, everyone, Baze and was it Chirrut? They think that he's going to go kill Galen Erso, and they tell Jin that. And so then when they get back from the mission back onto the ship, Jin confronts Andor Cassian and says, "You were going to kill him." And he's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And she just basically writes him off like, "Oh, you whatever for your cause." And he says, "You don't know anything about me." So that's a good point that you make there, that maybe, you know, he lost his parents to the Empire, and that was the click right there, and what kept him from killing Galen Erso and doing it that way. Because you're right, at the beginning of the movie, he gets his intel and is immediately says, "All right, I got to kill this guy if I need to, you know, save myself." So that is a great point. I didn't even think about that, because so we could definitely see that kind of link, you know, between Jen and Galen that Andor may have. That might be the reason why he jumped ship from the Empire, if he's part of the Imperial forces at the beginning.
I can see where you could already start off with Spy Andor, and it could still be as great, and he doesn't have to have that. He could have been a true believer in the old or not the old Republic, but the Republic. You know, from, you know, stories from his parents and stuff.
Right.
Who knows? But that idea, I do kind of like it, and yeah, I'm mostly excited for that. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the world's biggest Bond guy,
right?
But I really, really miss Star Wars stories that don't involve Skywalkers, that don't involve Palpatines, that don't involve Yodas. You know, so yeah. I'm kind of happy to see some lower level stuff. You know, I was always a Rogue Squadron fan. I liked I liked the individual books that were like a one shots, or, you know, a duology, the X-Wing novels and comics and Mike Stackpole's I Jedi. Great. It's a huge universe.
Yeah.
And one of the worst things Disney has done is failing to explore that universe in my mind. Like, you can kind of see they try with the High Republic, but reception's been mixed at best. At best. But they literally are afraid to go out of a time where there's no one we know. Like the High Republic, when it was first announced, before we found out the time, I was like, oh, okay, they're renaming the Old Republic. Maybe it's going to be 500-600 years. I just don't want Yoda to be alive. You guys got to understand, dude's 900 years old when he dies. So that means we got to go 1,000 years before Jedi to get the fuck away from Yoda. And there's a reason why I wanted that to happen. And lo and behold, not the specific fear I had, but them basically fucking with Yoda, right?
Right.
They did. They fucked with Yoda. They essentially make Yoda out to be the passive bad guy for the High Republic, the one that essentially, because of his way of being in charge of the Force, is what allows Palpatine to come up.
Correct.
And I can't stand that. That's not Yoda. That's not the Force the way I can remember it, but to each their own.
Right.
But it again, it's Disney's fear of going beyond what people. Fuck, dude, they threw Fennec into the Bad Batch. I like her. I love Ming Na Wen. She's a great actress. I've loved her since ER. Yeah. Right. Then what? You watch ER?
Yeah.
Yes. Like my arm is missing. Get me Dr. Carter and Dr. Bitten now. Fuck. I am set. I can miss my head could be missing, and Dr. Carter can save your life. So yeah, I like that, but again, that's them being like, oh, look, it's a character from the new stuff, but in this old stuff. When, man? Taika's movie, even? Maybe? When are we going to see something we've never seen before? Because even the Acolyte is going to take place at the tail end of the High Republic, which, again, Yoda, potentially Plagueis, potentially Palpatine. When, Mike, and where do we go?
So I think you're hitting on a big key point, that there's a core or a group of Star Wars fans that really want to see the wars in Star Wars and not be just about, like you said, the Skywalker saga. You're kind of over that, the general Jedi versus Sith. You want it to be what Rogue One is for a lot of Star Wars fans. There's a lot of Star Wars fans out there that have Rogue One, at the top of their movie list because, it's something different. It's the humanistic version of the entire galactic civil war. It's not based off of one person, and their balance with the Force and how in tune they are and everything. It's literally, individual people fighting, or choosing a side and fighting for that cause. And so I think Andor is going to take care of that. The one thing that interests me is that how much, so like Star Wars Rebels, it kind of started out that way, and then it got to like Jedi-ish and stuff for it, which was okay. I loved, Rebels and everything, but I thought it was going to be a different show, and it ended up being, a great show once it put it all together. But I love Rogue One because, in all honesty, we get Darth Vader for, that 2 to 3 minutes, but it is a classic war movie, and it's great, and I hope Andor's like that. I hope Andor is, I've heard some rumors that, Ewan McGregor's supposed to be in there as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I hope not. I love what the Kenobi series is bringing, and I'm super pumped for it. But give me this, not everything has to tie back to the Jedi, or to the Sith. Let's just have it where it's you believe in your thing, clash it out that way. And so. Yeah, I hope that's what we're getting at. I think Taika Waititi's film, you brought that up. I think that one's going to be very different in a from anything we've seen in Star Wars. Acolyte will be interesting. I still think, even though I know they keep on saying it's in the time period right at the end of the High Republic and stuff, but I still think that this is going to be like almost a journey film where it's going to. The core of it might be right at the end of the High Republic, but it might go really deep, way back to the origin of the Sith and stuff, and do it that way and kind of travel, through flashbacks, whatever, and give us that, because that's something that would be very different, be very Sith oriented, but very bad guy ish, because we've got enough with the Jedi and the Jedi Council and Yoda and do or do not, I'm good. I love everything that, I'm a Star Wars fan through and through, and I like everything we've gotten so far. And there's some good, some bad, but yeah, I agree with you. I hope Andor doesn't deviate and try to go the Jedi route or the Sith route. Just be a war movie, be a spy show or whatever, that's it. That's all I need from it. And so, I'm pumped about it. I think that, you know, like if you're a fan of Rogue One, you're probably gonna be a fan of Andor.
Very cool. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors, the great guys over at Grow Generation. Guys, check them out.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. From propagation to harvest, they have everything you need for your special garden. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Thank you, Christine, for that great read, and thank you, Grow Generation, for sponsoring the episode. You want to get spicy?
Yeah, let's get spicy. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get a little spicy. I'm a firm believer in making money.
Yeah,
I am. I love money.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's a good thing. But I believe in making money the right way, so to speak. I would love to design the world's next fidget spinner. You know, a device that is definitely a fad.
Right.
Is definitely designed to only last a short time, make a big bunch of money, and then go away forever. But that provides somebody something. They wanted it. They get to play with it. It's tangible. It's not it's a gimmick, but it's not necessarily taking advantage of someone, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
However, there's a group of people on the internet. They might have good intentions. Some of them do. Some of them might have bad intentions. I don't know specifically, but what I do know is that a lot of them have got to be knowingly either omitting, lie of omission, stretching the truth, bending, or B, outright lying. And what they're doing is they're selling hopes and dreams to certain factions of the Star Wars fandoms, and it's both sides, believe it or not. Of course, only certain groups get blasted on social media, but this is the thing. I actually the Star Wars Day posters, right? Do you remember the hoopla the day the first one leaked, and it was OT era?
Yep.
And people were like, "Oh my God, there's no sequel stuff. This is proof Kennedy's being fired. Long live the Favreau and Filoni king." And it's like, you guys realize that first off, that's a snipped banner image missing the sides. Oh, well, that's even worse. They cut off the sequel. Well, no, because actually they've announced that they're having I think it was all week long artwork by all sorts of different artists from all sorts of different eras. And when I brought this up in their comment section, respectfully, I someone attacked them, and I even said, look, I'm not calling him a liar. I'm saying you might not be informed. If you are informed and you are lying, that's terrible. You're feeding into something that, whilst some people call it fight fire with fire, but what fireman or firewoman, what firefighter? There's the word I'm looking for. What fire? I almost said 12 Mike, which is the Army's firefighter, MOS, and which firefighter walks into a burning building with a bucket of fire?
The one that loves fire and makes money off of it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Mike. Look, we've at LRM, and I don't mean to toot our own horn. We've done a really hard job here at keeping our friends over at Disney and Lucasfilm and Marvel happy by refusing to cover lies. First off, refusing to cover leaks as extensively as others because they ask us to.
Correct.
To preserve the experience, to reduce the likelihood of spoilers, not just for others, but that's even on us. We should want to reduce the risk of spoilers for our fans, and that's why we always try to make sure it's broadly, or not broadly, but plainly labeled and all of that. Mike, these people, are they doing more harm to Star Wars in the long run?
So there's kind of a back and forth on it. It's kind of where you stand on the morality of it. So, for example, like, you know, we get scoops about some of the things. There's some things I've gotten scoops on. I don't share with you guys, and I don't like. It's just, if you notice in the things that we cover, you know, we do casting announcements. We try to do, you know, when trailers come out, and that failed horribly. So I'm not doing that anymore. You know, and so for example, the casting announcements, that doesn't really, it's spoiler-ish for like who's going to be in the show, but it's not going to break on what the story of the show is about. So you still kind of do it that way. I have no problems and no qualms with people, you know, that are in this industry doing that. And you know, give and take, you know, there's Charles Murphy, who does a great job, and he's more in the Marvel universe, and giving spoilers out, like, you know, the storylines of shows and so forth. Our guy, you know, the guys over at Kessel Run Transmissions, they get more scoops on basically, you know, who's going to be in a show and kind of what the premise is of it and stuff, which is cool. It's funny. I've actually, like, for the past 2 to 3 weeks, I've kind of stayed away from their show because I wanted to be surprised with Bad Batch, because they got a lot of Bad Batch information. And I'm like, do I want to listen to it and get it ahead of time and stuff? And so I make that choice. So which is good. And some people complain about, like, you're ruining the show. Listen, you don't have to watch. You don't have to watch it. Exactly. Do like I did. You know, I'm still a fan of the guys at Kessel Run and everything. And I think
come back later.
Noah, you know, is, you know, and Corey are great people, you know, and everything that they go about, and they're true Star Wars fans. But just, I wanted to be surprised with this one because I've gotten a lot of information about Kenobi that I've kept to myself that I don't want to share, because I pretty much know the premise now behind everything. And so it's not, while I'm going to be, like, happy to see it, I'm not going to have that same type of, oh my God, you know, like this happened, like, type deal. So I respect both sides of it. Where I agree with you on, where I have an issue with, are the YouTubers, the you know, the scoopers that they're taking what little information they have and they are stretching out to this humongous thing, which, to each their own, you know, like you know, not going to call people out names and stuff like that, but there are, you know, YouTubers and stuff that every day are posting Star Wars information about, you know, someone getting fired here, someone, you know, fighting here, that this person, you know, doesn't work, and this person, you know, hates this person, that there's a civil war in Lucasfilm and stuff. It's just not true. But I understand, because it's the easy way to get, you know, viewerships, and it's the easy way to get, you know, ads, you know, monetizing your ads and so forth. Because when you do those big highlights and stuff, you know, some people are going to, you know, are going to watch it just because of what you put in the title. It's going to get you the revenue, and it'll work. You know, there's some that have been doing this for years. Yeah. That basically make a living off of it, which
since 2015.
So each,
or 2012.
If that's the way you want to do it, great. But it's creating a divide. You're absolutely right in the fandom. You know, there's, you know, these people that, you know, the Kathleen Kennedys versus the Jon Favreaus and Dave Filoni side and so forth. And it's not there, guys. That's not how Disney operates. That's not how this Lucasfilm operates. Are there differences, creative differences? Of course, but that's with everything.
Yeah. And how many times do we hear creative differences? And that is a legit reason to split. It's an amicable word that usually comes after a not so amicable split, but it is creative differences. Yeah.
I mean, it's just it happens. And I think, you know, did Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy and stuff have high ambitions when they bought, you know, Star Wars from George Lucas, and think, oh, we got this, all we got to do is just do this, and it bit him in the ass a little bit with the sequel trilogy. Now, not saying the sequel trilogy's god awful. I enjoy for what it is.
Parts that are good.
I absolutely enjoy for what it is. I'm a general Star Wars fan. There are things I love about the certain movies, and there's things that I don't like, but it's not that I'm gonna do, end my Star Wars fandom over it.
You're not
But
gonna spaced Simon Pegg when he burns
Oh
all
yeah.
his after
Yep.
episode 1.
Yep. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But there are YouTubers out there, there are bloggers out there that want that. They make their money that way, and I don't agree with it. But to each their own. If that's what you want to do, great. But that's not me, and that's not what we do here at LRM. We have our differences without a doubt about the Star Wars trilogy, but we respect each other as fans and stuff, and we all. Look, I'm trying to build my own Captain Rex costume out of it and stuff and everything. It's midlife crisis. Instead of buying a Corvette or whatever, I'm building a Captain Rex cosplay outfit.
3D printing?
No, I actually bought from Imperial Surplus.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do the plastic molding and stuff, and so you cut it down to your sizing and everything. I want to get into 3D printing. That's probably gonna be my next project once I'm done, building the Captain Rex outfit, is get a nice 3D printer and, start dabbling in that, because I've seen some of the creations these guys are making online. It's cool, from, just, helmets to blasters to, lightsaber hilts and everything. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that'll be my next thing out of it. But yeah, no, I'm hoping that this phase of this toxicity in Star Wars fans is on the decline, because a couple years ago it was at its height, and really last year too. There was some backlash over certain the firing of Gina Carano, and even with the High Republic coming out, and some of the writers on there and stuff.
The Rock.
The Rock. Oh my God.
Not the cool Rock. I love Dwayne Johnson. He's awesome.
Yeah, not the WWE The Rock. The damn
Geode
guy. But yeah, I just hope. Yeah, I hope the toxicity is on the downslide, and we can all just love it.
That word toxicity, though, it's one that bugs me, because it, like any word out there, it can get thrown around too much. And I think I've asked you this before. You like Scrubs?
Yep.
Yeah. I love it. And there's a line in there where Dr. Cox, he says somebody says they hate something. He's like, you kids or you youths or something like that have used hate so much that it's lost all meaning. I now have to come up for a new word for you. I megaloathe you all. Toxicity is toxic fandom is one of those that has almost become that, a word where it's, oh, you disagree with me, you're toxic.
Oh yes, I agree with you on that.
And it's like, whoa, wait, no, I just disagree. I like something different. I wish something was different. It's not going to be different because it was already made, but the future could be different. Let's talk about it. Nope, you're toxic. If you don't love it all, you can't be a fan. Well, I was here before you. Oh, now you're gatekeeping. No. I'm just saying, like, I was already here. You're welcome too. Let's both be here. There comes a point, guys, out there to the other YouTubers, and I'm at that Kyle Malone. DM me. You guys want to talk sometimes? Like, you guys want to offline, online? Let me know. Me and Mike and Cam, we can talk. We could talk Star Wars. We can figure out some stuff that could happen, because what I want to do is I'm like you. I want Star Wars fandom to be cohesive. That doesn't mean that we're all going to agree. That just means that we're all amicable to each other.
I think that's social media. Like, because I've been to Star Wars Celebration multiple times, right? Mm-hmm. I've never once met anybody at Star Wars Celebration that we got into a fit. Like, you go to Star Wars Celebration, I don't care if you're a fan of the sequel trilogy, the original trilogy. If you only liked one Star Wars movie, you're gonna meet a friend everywhere. Like, the Star Wars Celebration Orlando, when The Last Jedi was that was the big premiere for the movie trailer, and Ryan Johnson there and stuff like that. I had to spend the night in the Orlando Convention Center so that I could get into the Last Jedi panel. I've met friends there that I still talk to today from spending the night, on the floor
place.
in a convention hall, with basically my book bag as my pillow, sleeping on the cold concrete floor. And the conventions I've gone to where it's the fans that attend it, everybody's like super nice to each other. Cosplayers, oh my gosh, dude, taking pictures with people. Doesn't matter if it's a $5,000 cosplay suit or $100 cosplay suit. Kids walking around having fun, swinging lightsabers.
Stormtrooper Elvis.
Stormtrooper Elvis, yeah. What is it? He's the Run DMC version of the Stormtroopers, where he has red and Adidas and stuff like that, and carries a boombox.
Mm-hmm.
All those guys, man. I mean, the 501st, I've heard, I haven't been I've talked to a couple of people in the 501st, but for the most part, it's a tiny group. There's some, issues in the club, but any club that gets that big, you're going to have issues around it and stuff. So yeah, I think it's more social media than anything else. The guys on Rex and Around that do, their YouTube channel, they're great guys. I mean, I love watching their YouTube stuff and their how-tos on cosplay and everything. But yeah, I think if you took away social media and just focused on the Star Wars fans that aren't on social media, without a doubt, you're in a good place. It's the ones that, like you said, that if you were to put your list out of in order of your favorite to worst favorite Star Wars movies, and you put it out there, I guarantee you there'll be, a group of people that say, "Oh, you're wrong. You're not a true Star Wars fan." Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not a real Star Wars fan.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I'm not a real Star Wars fan at all. Not at all. Not long time. There's no Sword of the Jedi figure on my top shelf there. Look, like I said, I'm like you, man. I want us all. I have those great memories from San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con and all sorts of smaller conventions and midnight previews back when you actually had to see movies at midnight, but buying tickets and not just Star fuck. Sorry guys.
You're good.
Not just Star Wars, but WWE events.
Oh yeah.
I in Nashville when my dad was stationed at Fort Campbell, I saw a Raw, SmackDown, and I think it was the 04 Judgment Day, maybe 05 when Taker beat Hogan.
Okay, yeah.
And in Nashville, and I love all that stuff. And you're right, you make all these friends, and it all goes back to the point that I made about the need for us to have discussions.
Correct.
We need to talk, guys. We need to voice our opinions and hear them. One thing I'm trying to get my son to do is expand his palette, not just food, but his entertainment palette, his food palette, his music palette. Like, I want him exposed, because exposed to entertainment.
right.
Because I was, we had that Blockbuster or that Hollywood Video, Hastings, whatever, to go hunting for things, and when the thing that we wanted most wasn't there, we could find something else, and that expanded our horizons. And when Star Wars is such a great place to do that, because you've got the new canon, you've got the old EU, you've got dozens of games, guys. There are still X-Wing Alliance servers today. There are people that are running it off their own PC, but it's, dude, you could go online and play X-Wing Alliance. You could go online and play X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. You could go on YouTube right now and find people that do streaming. I've said it before, Star Wars is the closest thing to a religious experience outside of religion. Star Trek doesn't cut it. Marvel doesn't cut it. They're different things. They're all great. They're all important. But there was just something about that galaxy far, far away that it ignited these passions that burn so brightly that it's actually causing a lot of us to do harm to the very thing we love.
Oh, I agree 100%. And a great example of that in today's realm is Galaxy's Edge at Hollywood Studios and in Disneyland. I've never seen, so I've gone there multiple times now, being a pass holder. I've never gone into Galaxy's Edge one time and seen somebody be like, oh, this sucks, this is horrible, and stuff like that. You get immersed into it. Now, could there be other things added to it? Sure. You want to be a greedy Star Wars fan? Sure. I want to ride where like I actually sit in the X-Wing cockpit and, and shoot down TIE fighters. Without a doubt, that would be the greatest achievement of all time for me. But you go on YouTube, and you'll find people bashing it and, it's horrible.
Taking a day with bad weather and be like, look how few people are here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Without a doubt. You know, it should have been in the original trilogy's location and stuff like that. Like,
maybe not. I would something new.
But you know what? When I legit was like this close to crying when I built my lightsaber. You know, like when I have like these pictures of like putting the hilt together and leaving it down there, and I'm like, taking pictures of it, and then you put it in to activate the lightsaber. It's one of the coolest moments you can ever experience, lighting up that lightsaber and then holding it up. And I'm by myself. I have no family with me or anything, and I'm sitting there like a misty eye, like, oh my gosh, the music's playing. It's a great experience and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, so the multiple times I've gone to the Hollywood Studios Galaxy Edge, I never once met somebody there saying this is horrible. This is absolutely the worst thing ever. They need to tear it down or do whatever. I go on YouTube and I see all the people on there, and it's like either you haven't gone, or you don't want to admit you had a great time because you want clicks and you want people to say, oh, why does this person hate Galaxy's Edge? Why is it? I'm going to do whatever I can to get on the Galactic Cruiser, Star Wars hotel thing that they got going. Whenever, if anybody from Disney Parks is listening and, you send me whatever, I'll pay for it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the first day either, the first trip, but I will go on there and I promise you, you'll get a good picture of me crying, and stuff. 'Cause it's just, it brings me back to when I was a kid, And,
will you volunteer to be the janitor?
Oh, hell yeah. Without a doubt. Yeah. How cool would that be if you had to go down the trash chute? Like, you're in the Star Wars cruiser and then they're like, hey, in the trash chute, fly boy. Okay. That's a ride for me right there. I'm done. I'm good.
Oh, man. I will say this before we wrap it up about Disney parks. I used to be a big enthusiast. Thanks to I'm not going to pick up my pen, but thanks to certain medications that are legal in many states and growing all over the country, I've gotten some aspects of my life back. I can't ride all rides. Some of them shake too much, and I got to space out the time and stuff. But Disney always, like, I did Land when I was younger, and then when I was like, middle school age, and I was just like, guys, I think I'm done. Like, immersion's cool, but I need adrenaline. And then I went to Iraq, got shot at and blown up, and there's no higher adrenaline. Yeah, I
don't think you can get better than that.
And so Disney really doesn't cut it. But even I would like to see, and I hate crowds. I can't deal with them. So I don't know. Florida's most likely. It's the only Disney park I know that has occasional off-peak. California never has off-peak. But I know that, like, I can go to Universal in February and never wait more than 10 minutes in the line.
Correct. Yep.
And I love it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
if you go in January, February, right? So after the holiday season,
45, 50 minutes I've heard, and that's not
bad.
bad. Yeah, that's not bad. So I'm gonna say this. My name is Kyle Malone. I love Star Wars. I personally will probably never ever watch the prequel trilogy again. Might catch some sequel trilogy because of my son, but I am a diehard OT fan, EU fan, and I want to see Star Wars continue to grow and not stagnate. And I welcome anyone that fucking hates me and everything that I love, and I welcome anyone that loves everything that I love and hates everything that I hate equally, so long as you guys can talk to each other and even rib each other. Fuck it, yeah. Mike, we ragged on you about how bad Anakin versus Obi-Wan in episode 3 is. But we have fun.
Oh, without a doubt, of course. And I think that's majority of Star Wars fans. I think majority of Star Wars fans, when you sit down and have discussions, are amazing. The ones that are on YouTube or on social media trying to gain popularity, they're doing it for clout, and that's it. I listen, if this viewership only gets 5 listens or whatever, that's okay with me.
Yep. Because it's 5 solid, honest opinions, and yeah, guys, let's be better. And that's on the other side too. We spent a little bit of time ragging on, and everybody probably knows a lot of the names we've alluded to, but let's admit the other side can be just as bad, especially on Twitter. And by the other side, I mean the ones that are anti-OT or anti-whatever. They love their new star, which is great, guys. The thing is just be amicable, be nice, have discussions, and remember, not everyone's going to agree with you, and that is completely okay, because the world would be a very fucking boring place if we were all the same.
Oh my gosh, yeah, without a doubt.
So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and ask Mike, do you have anything else to say about Star Wars today?
No, what's crazy is that we keep getting older and we keep getting more Star Wars. It's like the only thing that it keeps getting better and better to me. Is everything absolutely 100% great? No, but I would never have thought this when I was a kid, that we would have all these shows, all these movies when I was older. I thought, especially in the early 90s, I missed the boat. And I was like, damn, you got to read a lot of books, a lot of comic books, and,
lots
make it all up in my head. Oh yeah, video games, make it up all in my head. But man, oh man, is how things have changed. And so I love it. And I dare anyone to go to Hollywood Studios Galaxy's Edge and make a lightsaber and not get misty-eyed and cry.
Yeah.
It's an amazing experience if you're a true Star Wars fan. So.
There you guys go. Open invite. Anyone that wants to discuss Star Wars, hit us up in our social media. I'm at that Kyle Malone on Twitter, at the one Kyle Malone on Instagram. We can have a debate. We can hook something up.
Yeah.
We can definitely set something up, and we can discuss the finer points of responsibility in like delivering Star Wars information to your audience and things like that. Because if you actually have a source, you got to remember your source, that's their job, their family, like there's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, hit us up, guys. Please check out the website lrmonline.com every single day for all your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button, then hit the bell button again, and make sure that you get all the notifications, because guys, we are releasing a crap ton of videos, celebrity interviews, producers, writers, directors, comic book artists, and writers. Of course, all of our great podcasts, ones with videos and audio only, all on the YouTube channel. And I just said podcasts, so you guys can head over to the LRM/genreverse as we're shifting over and branding. No, we haven't been sold. We haven't been bought. We're just expanding, guys. So look for the branding changes. Subscribe wherever you get podcasts, from Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, everywhere. SoundCloud, I recommend it only because our curated playlists are there for you guys to easily access. and our full back catalog going back to 2016 at least is there. So check it out. And yeah, Mike, where can people find you at online, and is there anything else cool coming up for the site in the near future?
So basically through the main Twitter account at LRM_exclusive. You can, DM message me on there, or you just say, hey, Mike, whatever, get a hold of me that way. For the website, we've got a lot going on. I mean, it's been a great couple months, and 2021 for us. We got a lot of multimedia aspects of it. Like Kyle said, we're transitioning to a new podcast network, a Genreverse, and trying to expand more and more. And if you feel like you want to have your channel or your show shared on our network and stuff like that, give me a message me, or message Kyle, and we can definitely work something out where we can get that out there, because we want to build our community as big as we can. And whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Star Trek, whatever, get a hold of us and stuff. We'd love to expand this family that we got here.
Absolutely. And with that, I'm going to tease one last thing. Cam and I are actually going to be test driving a war movie review series.
Nice. Starting
on Memorial Day with the classic. He's Scottish, so I had to pick something that he has seen. So we're going to start off with Vietnam, Kubrick, Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, Full Metal Jacket. Okay.
We're going to start with that. And then that's going to be for Memorial Day. And then in June, of course, we're going to do Private Ryan for Operation Overlord D-Day, June 6th. And then July 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, look for Gettysburg in honor of the anniversary of that battle. And then Cam will take us on to some additional things in European military history and things like that. So yeah, look forward to those, and hit all that like, subscribe, share stuff, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Check out our sponsors. Thank you guys at Grow Generation for sponsoring us, and may the force be with you.